It is. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Town Council of the Town of Clarkdale for Tuesday, July 25th, 2023 at 3 p.m. in the Clark Memorial Clubhouse. Roll call, Vice Mayor Hunsetter.
Here.
Councilmember Babbitt Pierce.
Present.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Present.
And note that Mayor Prudhomme Bauer is here. We have a quorum. Okay, first item on the agenda this afternoon is public comment, as always. Anybody from the public may give comment of a general nature. No official action may be taken by the council during this time unless it is to direct staff to look into a matter. And public comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anybody who wants to make public comment? All is quiet. Nobody's online. See nobody come forward. Let's move on to item 4, which is reports. The departmental reports were submitted as part of the council packet. Building permits look healthier than I thought. Not bad. Magistrate court report is pretty much what it has been. Water and wastewater report, solid. Nothing out of the ordinary, even though we had a pump go down. So police department report looked pretty straightforward. Nothing came to mind there. Cottonwood area transit, well, people are riding the bus. That's all I can say. I don't know if the numbers are up, constant. I wish it were a different looking report. And Verde Valley Humane Society, somehow we don't lose dogs very much in this town. We only had 2.
And one
So-
was claimed.
And one was claimed, so yeah, not too bad. People like their dogs around here or something. They're animals. Let's move, that's all we have for reports. Let's move on to consent agenda. We have 2 items on consent today. Let's see, what to that. We have the minutes of the council meeting, and we have the new liquor license application for Hermosillo Hot Dog. Does anybody wish to pull either one of those items for discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Madam Mayor, so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and second by Councilmember Jones to approve the consent agenda items A and B as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, this gets a little wonky, the next 2 items, so just bear with us. It's kind of procedural that we have to go through, but the first item, number 6, is a public hearing on fiscal year 23-24 final budget. Julie, come on forward. Oh my gosh, your budget book is as big as hers. We all left ours at home, so we're
That's just fine.
tired of carrying
Because
them
it's a public
around.
Hearing, I wanted to have everything in case there were questions and I could answer. So I believe that everybody here now has heard the budget presentation at least a few times. So we won't go into great detail here, but I will at least point out that this is our final budget presentation. We're really here to hear from the public, and so we'll give time for that. But we can probably just get right into the slides and we'll just give a quick rundown. And do I have it? Okay, thank you. So as you all know, we started our budget process way back in January. We've had multiple meetings. The next slide shows all of the opportunities for public participation. And so here we are on July 25th, and we'll meet one last time with respect to the budget, and that's to adopt the tax levy, and which sets the final property tax valuations. So I don't know if our town manager wants to go through our vision, mission, and goals. We talked quite a bit about it, so we can.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked ahead of time that if everybody here was
had already heard it a couple of times, that we do a very abbreviated presentation. But anybody who's watching online, any of those prior dates, please, we encourage you to go back and watch the whole presentation in its entirety.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and skip ahead to the budget assumptions and highlights. Just a couple of quick reminders here, and I think the big one is that we're proposing a slight decrease in our property tax rate from 1.4765 in fiscal '23 to 1.415. We are also still waiting to hear on the residential rental tax revenue. And if you want to give a quick update for anybody here that
We
doesn't.
don't know yet.
Yeah, it was kind of put to the side while they were on recess, but you know, they're reconvening. It appears to us like it is something that's up for discussion. And we are really concerned about the direction that's headed. We have a legislative update call with the league on Thursday morning. We're assuming it's probably about this topic. If everything that we've seen thus far, though, says that it would start in January 2025. So it actually would not impact this year's budget. But if you recall, we did take that amount of money and put it into contingency and did not budget it just in case, because we really don't know what they'll do. And not only that, but it'll give us used to not living with that money.
All rumors around that say that it's that the residential rental tax is being used as a negotiating tool for the possible passage of legislation on what's called Prop 400, which is transportation tax in the Maricopa County. That's being negotiated between the governor and the legislative leadership. That's what we've heard.
On the expenditure side, we had very little change in our pension contributions, modest changes in our insurances, health, dental, property liability. I think the big changes this year really were around the capital items. We have a very large capital budget, 19.2 million. But as I keep pointing out, 90% of that is being funded with either existing funds or grant funds. So that's a wonderful position to be in. And we can keep going, I think. So as we've seen many times, and as you see in your monthly finance reports, we show breakdown of our general fund budget, expenditures and revenues, just pointing out again that 87% of our revenues are state and local. Majority of our expenditures are in public safety and then general administration. The next slide shows the change over time and our percent changes for the budget. As we see here, the 26%, on an operating basis, we're really only increasing the budget 6.3%, and 5% of that is COLA increases for the employees. So the remaining increases have to do with capital and transfers and use of fund balance. We can go into any more detail on that if you like. The property tax revenue, as I mentioned, we're going to have a slight decrease in the rate. That still does generate $19,000 of additional revenue for us, and that's because of growth in the town, so new construction. And this is our 3-year look at the general fund revenue sources, with the largest on the left, although it's very hard to read from here, being the local sales tax. And then our next slide gets into what makes up those taxes. And again, it's primarily from construction and retail, and then followed by utilities and amusements being the kayaking, railroads. And then residential rentals included there also. So see what happens with that. We've talked about the general fund, but we also have our enterprise funds, and those are the cemetery, the sanitation, water and wastewater funds. Water is the largest at about 2.2 million. And the next slide just shows the expenditures of those same funds. Again, I won't get into all of the details because you all have heard this many, many times. The following slide talks about all of our other funds, because besides the general fund and the enterprise funds, we have 18 in total, that and the total of all those funds is $40.5 million. And those are funds like grants and HERF and streets, capital, donations. So the town is managing much more than just the general fund and the enterprise funds. We also have a very long list of capital projects, which we've talked about, and you'll continue to hear about them as we go out for bid and award contracts, and all of these will come back to the council and you'll be hearing about the progress. So it's very exciting. A lot going to be going on this year. And we also have been going out for many, many grants. I don't know if you want to talk about any of those, or, I mean, it's all the list in the following slides.
Yeah, we
We've
can
seen-
just flip through.
What's that?
I'm trying to see, there's one that has probably changed. So all of these we've gotten, so that's great news. All of these we've gotten, the Water Conservation Grant Fund, the one that Virginia wrote, we actually had our presentation with that committee of WIFA, and it went very well. They voted to approve it and move it forward to the final step, which is the WIFA board. So that meeting takes place August 16th. We're going to attend virtually, but it's looking pretty good. And that grant is for the smart meters. So great job, Virginia, on that.
Yeah, fabulous.
Go ahead and go
That
to.
brings our total to almost $12 million of awarded grants on the total of all these slides, excluding our WIFA and/or USDA, because we're still on for the well project. We'll see what happens with that, but that's over $13 million that the town is applying for grants. And so we're currently taking applications for grants administrator position, so that will greatly help. And that was part of our budget that we're passing today.
And we're working on a new grant that is the Transportation Alternatives Program. And we're looking at doing it for the Clarkdale Parkway sidewalks. So that's an exciting project. So we're kind of weeding through it. We had a meeting today, and Councilmember Babbitt here was kind enough to attend, since she's our representative on all the transportation committees. So
And so the next handful of slides goes through each of our goal areas, and the green section again is how all of our operating items tie into our strategic goal plan areas, and the blue is our examples of the capital budget tying into our strategic goal plan areas. So we've talked a lot about this, but the idea is just that we're continuing to wrap back around to our strategic plan, keeping that focus, and all of the initiatives, all of the new initiatives and line items and increases to any items that were approved or are being adopted, all really relate back to our strategic plan. So our next action will be on August 8th, where we adopt the tax levy. So I think if you want to take public comment.
Thank you so much, Julie, for shepherding us through all of this. This has been great. And doing these presentations, I very much appreciate the thoroughness of them. I'd like to open it up now to the public hearing on the fiscal year 2023-24 final budget. Is there any members of the public who wish to comment on the budget itself? You can welcome to come up to the microphone. We've all heard it. We've heard it a lot. We have no.
I've never heard it that fast. The Evelyn Wood version.
Yeah. I
You're trying
think
to
most
not
of
be
us can
painful.
dream about it in our sleep and recite most of it by now, so.
There's somebody.
Is there somebody online?
There is, but they have not indicated their own.
Okay, thank you. See no one coming up to the microphone, we'll go ahead and close public comment or cut the public hearing on this matter. And we have a little bit of procedural thing we have to do. We need to adjourn to a special meeting for the budget adoption action. So we're just taking a break from our regular meeting. So I'd like to call to order the meeting, the special meeting on the public adoption action. Please note that we do have a quorum. All members of the council are present for this special meeting on the budget adoption action. Okay. The item is a resolution 1698, adoption of the final budget for fiscal year 23-24. Is there any comments staff would like to give before I open up discussion to council?
No, ma'am, just to really thank all of you for all the work. I was so excited. A couple of people said today that they were looking for something and were able to use their books to find it. So that always makes us feel good. But I do feel like each of you has really dedicated a lot of time to understanding the budget and what it all means and what it's for. And, I feel a lot of comfort with that. So thank you for your dedication in doing that.
Comments?
I just think this was such a great process, and I really appreciate all the work the staff put into tying it back to our goals. We have a strategic plan, and the items that we're funding are part of that strategic plan. We are moving forward with purpose for the things that we feel like are the most important. So thank you.
Any other comments?
Couldn't agree more. So thank you to staff. It's been a long lot of work.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, you get 4 months off and then you have to start it all over again.
And we do audit during those months.
Yeah, right, then.
Oh, that's why we have an audit somewhere in there.
So,
Any other comments? Thank you, staff, completely on all of this. It is thorough. I loved, echo exactly what Councilmember Babbitt Pierce said, tying it back to our strategic plan and the goals. Just makes it really clear of where we're heading by doing that, and that we're all on the same page and moving forward with a very aggressive capital improvement plan. Many things are underway. Things are going to be happening. Just wait for the phone calls when people say, so what's going on now, but there's a lot of good stuff going on, and it's much appreciated, everybody's thoughtfulness and time in all of this. Thank you so much. If there's no other comments or questions, I will I will take a motion.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
I move that we approve resolution 1698, adopting the budget in the amount of $35,724,945, of which $13,927.898 is from grant funding for fiscal year 23 for the town of Clarkdale.
Is
It's
there
actually 13 million.
Did I say that right?
6,000.
No, 13,927,898. No wonder I couldn't say it right, because I'd shortened it. Thank you. Like, that's not-
And I believe we have a second from Councilmember O'Neill. Is there any comments on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve resolution 1698, adopting the budget in the amount of $35,724,945, of which $13,927,898 $13,927,898 is from grant funding for fiscal year 23-24 for the town of Clarkdale. Is the motion? All those in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Yes, August 8th is just a procedural to set our tax rate, but the budget is technically done. Yay. Thank you so much. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn this special meeting on the budget adoption.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adjourn the special meeting on the budget adoption.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce, seconded by Vice Mayor Hunsaker to adjourn the special meeting on the budget adoption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We are back in resuming the regular meeting. Yay, budget is done. Let's move on to item 9, possible vote to enter into executive session. We have 2 items on executive session today. Centerville Road Extension and legal advice regarding town properties. With that, I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Hunsetter and seconded by Councilmember Jones to go into an executive session. With that, all those in favor of that motion, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carried. We're going to go off to the reading room for this executive session. We'll be back in a few. Thank you all. Please note that we are back in regular session, resumption of our regular meeting. And I think we have a couple of items to make note of from executive session. So the first one is, I think there's two motions I think we are going to be doing. So Laura, you wrote it. Do you want to present it?
I will do my best. Item A? Is that correct?
Part of item A
Or-
of the Centerville
Oh,
Road
yeah.
extension, yeah.
A motion to authorize town manager Guthrie to execute the voluntary condemnation of 751 Cali Medina.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion? I'll second. Okay. All those in favor of the motion to authorize town manager Guthrie to execute the voluntary condemnation at 751 Kaya Medina, Clarkdale. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carried unanimously. I believe there's another motion.
Yes, for the motion to proceed as directed in executive session.
With all other
regards-
items.
With all regards to the other items.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion to, by, Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Babbitt Pierce to proceed as directed in executive session on all other items.
Getting plugged one.
All those in favor of that motion, say aye. All those opposed, motion carried. So we're on to future agenda items. I think, Charity has put together our list of items for, future agenda items. I think our next meeting will be basically adopting the levy. We'll have an, Tuesday Group wrap MOA, Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, or what agreement, whatever they're calling it. Also, we'll be having an executive session on beginning contract renewal with our town manager. We're getting it done ahead of time, so working on it, starting. And anything else that comes up that's not on here, but it looks like it's a pretty straightforward meeting in August. Any other future agenda items? I still think we're working on the one that you brought up last month.
There's no
last
hurry.
week. Yep, yep. But that, I think, has been noted, so we will see that back. Anything else? Yes.
I think there's a growing concern about air traffic from the airport in Cottonwood.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
And I'm not sure how we proceed whether that's brought together as a discussion, I'm not sure.
I
Can we-
I can ask them to come present. I mean, I've communicated via email with them and read the laws and everything. And, you know, basically the viewpoint that we're being given is that there's really not much we can do. It says if it's a road, you know, but I'm happy to reach out to them and ask them to come, see if they'll come discuss it with us
And
further.
it might be beneficial for us to have a better understanding about how those traffic patterns have changed over the last 4 years, 5 years,
Okay.
because there has been a significant change, and I think it would be good for us to have a good understanding of that.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think that's a good item for a presentation. Absolutely, Laura.
We did have a presentation under previous council,
Yeah.
and there was significant public appearance from that too.
And I think that there will be on this one also.
Yeah.
So I think that's, if we can schedule having a presentation from the airport manager or whoever they choose from Cottonwood to come do a presentation and specifically on
Embry
changes in
Riddle?
airport patterns.
They won't come.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I think the new airport manager will come.
I think you will.
I think he will come. So that would be great to be requested. Super.
Let it
Thank you
know.
for bringing that up, Laura. Anything else for executives or for future agenda items? Hearing none, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Babbitt Pearson, seconded by Vice Mayor Hunstetter to adjourn this meeting at
4:13.
4:13 PM. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. Thank you so much for a good meeting.
Thank you,
Lots
everyone.
done. Woo.
That's done.
Aiden.